like you. Be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Na Diorpop. In a world where every second is captured and every interaction is endlessly replayed, it's often the smallest moments that leave the deepest impact. Not the loud stages, not the dazzling performances, but the quiet, almost hidden seconds that feel too real to ignore. And sometimes, those moments happen in the most unexpected places. Not under bright lights. Not in front of thousands of fans. But inside something as simple as an elevator. A closed space. No escape from proximity. No room to hide emotions behind performances. Just presence, raw, unfiltered, and undeniably real. And when it comes to BTS, even the simplest situation can turn into something that feels different. Something that makes people pause, rewind, and wonder. Because when they're together, especially in moments like these, there's a certain energy, subtle, quiet, but impossible to ignore. So today, we're diving into one of those moments. A moment that might seem ordinary at first glance, but once you really see it, you realize it's anything but ordinary. In a world where every small movement is constantly watched, analyzed, and replayed, BTS have long lived under a spotlight that never fades. They are more than global superstars. They are individuals bound by years of shared experiences, silent understandings, and a connection that often feels deeper than what words can capture. There are moments, tiny, almost unnoticeable ones, that leave the strongest impression. Not the grand performances or scripted interactions, but the fleeting seconds that feel real. And sometimes, those moments happen in the most unexpected places. Like inside an elevator. A small, enclosed space. No stage, no audience, just them. The doors close, and suddenly the world outside disappears. What remains is something quieter, more intimate, not in a dramatic sense, but in a way that feels natural and unfiltered. In such a confined space, distance doesn't exist. Every movement matters. Every glance feels heavier. A brief look, a soft laugh, a subtle shift in posture to make room for someone else. And then there are the details that fans can't help but notice. The way their backs move when they adjust their stance, revealing the strength built from years of discipline and performance. It's not about exaggeration, it's about presence. The kind that comes from dedication, from pushing limits, from living a life constantly in motion. And then tattoos. Tattoos are never just ink. They carry meaning, memories, emotions, identity. When a glimpse of something like a moon tattoo appears, it instantly sparks curiosity. There's something about it that feels personal, almost like a quiet story written on skin. It's these little things that draw people in, not because they are loud, but because they feel real. But more than anything, what truly captures attention is how they are with each other. Inside that elevator, there's no performance, only presence. Sometimes, one stands just a little closer than necessary, not because there's no space, but because it feels natural. Sometimes, a shared smile appears without context, as if they're the only ones who understand the moment. To outsiders, it may seem insignificant, but to those who pay attention, it speaks volumes. A bond built over years. A trust that doesn't need explanation. A connection that has endured time, pressure, and everything in between. And perhaps that's why moments like these feel so intimate, not in a physical or exaggerated way, but in an emotional sense. Intimate as in understanding without words. Intimate as in comfort within silence. Intimate as in simply being yourself, without hesitation. Jimin and Jungkook are often at the center of this conversation. There's something about their dynamic that feels softer, more attentive, something that naturally draws attention without trying. It's not something that can be easily defined. And maybe that's what makes it so compelling. Because what's clear is this: they are comfortable with each other. And that comfort shows, even in a space as small as an elevator. There's a quiet meaning in the way they stand side by side. No need for constant conversation. No need for grand gestures. Just being there, together, is enough. And maybe that's why something as simple as riding an elevator can feel so memorable. Because in the end, it's never really about the place. It's about who stands beside you. For BTS, who have spent years sharing stages, travels, and countless unseen moments, their closeness has become something natural, something inseparable from who they are. And for those watching, even a small glimpse of that connection feels meaningful. Something that lingers. Something that warms the heart. Something that reminds us that behind the fame, there are still genuine bonds that quietly endure. So maybe it's true. An elevator ride is a simple thing. But with the right people, it can become something unforgettable. And maybe that's why moments like these stay with us longer than anything else. Not because they are loud. Not because they are meant to be seen. But because they feel real. In a world where everything can be edited, controlled, and performed, those quiet seconds, like standing together in an elevator, become something rare. Something honest. Something that doesn't need explanation. With Jimin and Jungkook, it's never about grand gestures or obvious actions. It's about the space between them. The silence that feels full. The closeness that doesn't need to be defined. And maybe that's why people can't stop watching. Because what we see isn't just interaction. It's connection. A connection that has grown through years of shared time, quiet understanding, and moments that were never meant to be noticed, but somehow were. And for BTS, those moments are just part of their everyday life. But for us, they become something unforgettable. Thank you for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Na Diorpop for more stories that go beyond what meets the eye. Because sometimes, the most meaningful moments are the ones that happen when no one is supposed to be looking. And that feeling is what keeps people coming back. Rewatching. Reanalyzing. Holding on to moments that last only seconds, but somehow stay forever. Because deep down, it's not just about curiosity. It's about connection. A quiet kind of connection that reminds us how powerful it is to have someone who understands you, without effort, without noise, without needing the world to see it. And maybe that's the reason why even something as simple as an elevator ride can feel so meaningful. Because when two people share that kind of understanding, even silence becomes a story. So as we close today's story here on Na Diorpop, remember this. Not everything real is loud. Not everything meaningful is obvious. Sometimes, the most powerful moments are the ones that almost go unnoticed. But once you see them, you'll never look away again. See you in the next story. Dizzy.